Hi, I'm Harold Krent, and I'm Dean and Professor at Chicago-Kent College of Law. And I'm here with 3 honor scholars who are going to share with you some of their highlights and insights into the Honor Scholar program.
Hi, my name is Alana Elenoff. I have an undergraduate degree from the University of Illinois, and my interests include, hopefully, art law, tax law, all sorts of charitable organizations, things like that.
My name is Henry Byrne. I went to Loyola University of Chicago, and I grew up in the southwest suburbs. After graduating, will be a JAG officer in the Marine Corps.
Hi, my name is Matthew Griffin. I'm a third-year law student. I went to undergrad at Stanford University, where I got an undergraduate degree in drama. My interests are in litigation, in rhetoric, but also in corporate and commercial law generally.
So let me start out by asking, of the various experiences you've had in the Honor Scholars program, give us one that's memorable to you and tell us a little bit why.
Well, if I can go first. This year we got to have a small class with Justice Kagan. That was very memorable because we got to ask her questions and meet her on a much smaller scale and group, and that was really great. And can I add a second one?
Sure.
I also got to go to dinner with the Centennial Scholar that won the award this year. I don't recall the name of the award.
The Palmer Prize.
The Palmer Prize Award. Palmer Prize Award winner. We got to go to dinner with them. And that was great because it was just maybe like 8 to 10 people, with the dean, a couple professors, and really go into depth on their backgrounds, their experiences, their interpretation of law school and how that should be taught, and it was really just a lot of fun that I wouldn't have gotten to experience otherwise.
And you got to watch the dean being chided by a law professor from Georgetown.
I did. It was quite excellent.
Okay.
I second everything that Alana mentioned about the small classes that are regularly part of the Honor Scholars program. One thing that I particularly enjoyed that wasn't a small class was in our second year, we had a year-long project where we worked with an alum who happened to be an entrepreneur in the field of legal technology. That was a really great experience to have a sustained interaction over the course of a year with an alumnus.
I have to say, at this point, certainly it would be the 2L project that we're currently working on. We're working on a appeal process with which the dean will be heading. Myself and the other 2L honor scholars are lucky enough to be able to help in this process and get to help write the briefs and develop the arguments. And it's a very interesting experience to be able to see it all the way through and all the technicalities and the things that go into that sort of a project at that level.
And Henry's working on the constitutionality of an act of Congress, something you don't get to do all the time, and so we just hope it has a good outcome for our client. So, thinking back when you were a prospective student, obviously you had many law schools to choose from. Did the Honor Scholar, what kind of role did it play in helping you decide to choose Chicago-Kent? Was it just a dessert? Was it a prime mover? What was your thought process, if you can remember that long ago?
For myself personally, it was certainly a large part of it. I was initially attracted to Kent because I'm from the Chicago area, and I have relatives in the practice of law, and I had spoken with a number of lawyers when I decided to go to law school, and a lot of people had talked about Kent, and Kent was certainly a great school. It was a school that a lot of people I had known had gone to, and it was certainly had a good reputation in Chicago, and as a school that produced lawyers who were ready to practice. So that certainly is what attracted me to start looking at Kent, and then when I saw the honors program and the things that provided and the opportunities it opened up, that was certainly a big attraction as well.
So I'm a career changer, and I had an 8-year career in marketing prior to going to law school. So when I was considering going back to get my law degree, I was seeing what other people who were going back to school were doing. And night school and part-time school wasn't something that was appealing to me. So what the Honor Scholarship did was allow me to full stop change directions, change gears, and pursue my legal career as a full-time student. And I would not have been able to do that without the full scholarship that the program provides.
For me, why I picked how the program influenced my decision, I really wanted to go to Kent and really wanted to be in the honors program. And as soon as I got that call, I immediately said yes. It was, I think if I hadn't gotten to the program, I still would have gone to Kent because I had heard such great things about there's lots of active learning. My aunt was sending me articles all the time about the clinical program and all the actual experience you can get at Kent. And I partake in the tax clinic and I love it.
So part of the interesting dynamic of the Honors College program is you're thrust into a group of 10 students who you don't know to start with. It's a pretty intense experience, both in terms of meeting alumni with them, going on the boat trip, but also in terms of being at those dinners that you mentioned, or working on your papers, or on the project, whether it's a litigation project or the technology project. I mean, has that been sort of a burden or a blessing or a little of each?
I think that's a blessing. I hope Matthew doesn't disagree with me because most of my work has been with Matthew. But I think it's been a blessing. The honors students sort of create a community. The older students try to help the younger students acclimate to the environment, provide help and support wherever needed. And with your peers, I think everyone's a really great sounding board. Everyone wants each other to succeed, and we really work together, so it's definitely been a great benefit.
I would second that. Absolutely well worth it. There's certainly work involved, but well worth it. Rewarding work, and you get an awful lot out of it.
I think the only thing I have to add is because the scholars come from different backgrounds, there's a nice opportunity to be challenged, both in your worldview and in the things that you're interested in, because everyone has very divergent interests. But out of that sort of diversity of background, diversity of interest, comes the opportunity to make some really interesting friendships and connections. I'm working with Alana on a moot court project now, and a couple other of the honor scholars were my first year study buddies. It's a really positive experience in terms of forming relationships.
Well, and this morning, Alana presented at the Honor Scholars class of paper, and I think the fact that the students had different backgrounds and different interests really produced a wonderful, robust discussion, not always complimentary, but always constructive, to help Alana write a better paper and a great paper at the end of the day. So I think those backgrounds can come into play and be wonderful, and we do wish you well in the international competition. Have you had a chance to meet any of the alumni of the Honors program, just in terms of giving you guidance or steps along the way in thinking about your careers? Because obviously one of the things that I've enjoyed is watching the fact that alumni of the program get involved in so many different vocations, whether it's in China or in Florida or in Alaska or in New York or in Chicago. They're just vibrant in different parts of the profession, right? Whether it's in government or in law firms or doing their own business work. Has that been of any kind of help to you, or you're just looking forward to more connections as time goes on?
This isn't exactly an alumni one, but somebody who's currently in my year of the Honors Scholars program was in the Navy for a number of years before he came to Kent to pursue his law degree. And he actually, as I was going through the process of joining the Marine Corps, he was invaluable. Even though he was my peer, he had been through, he'd been in the military for many years, and he had a lot of insights and helped me navigate through the paperwork and the day-to-day, and just was, knew a lot of stuff that was very, very comforting to know, and that was just from a peer. So there's certainly a lot of connections, not just amongst the alumni, but even amongst those in your class in that program.
Yeah, my experience has really been with the people that were a year or 2 years ahead of me when I started law school, that I'm still in connection with them, and they're very helpful, and One of them is coming to judge us for our moot court competition. He participated in it last year. But they're all, and we've met a few at the boat party, and they're all very nice and very helpful and always very willing to answer questions or help out wherever you need it.
And one of the ways that they do is we all definitely share our opinions about courses that are worthwhile to take. And that continues generation after generation. And I want to say something about the value of the credential. You're going to be, when you graduate from law school, competing with a lot of distinguished people who are going to all have the JD credential. They might have it from a very elite university or a very regional university, but the fact that you have the honors scholarship on your resume is something that either Chicago-Kent alumni employers will notice or employers in general, and they'll ask you about that. What was that? And you get to say, well, I was part of a cohort of 10 to 15 students from all across the world, all different backgrounds, that contributed to the intellectual life of the school and the larger community.